Hi friends, it's Heather with Running with Scissors. Today we are doing the Dashing Doors tutorial number 9. That is your June box and this is your third quarter box. So it is this very cute Peace Love USA sign. And today we are going to be using Red Apple by Apple Barrel, Parrot Blue by Apple Barrel, Bright Blue by Apple Barrel, and we need a white and a black as well. I'm going to darken up this blue to make it more of a navy. And of course, we're going to need white for the red and white stripes and some other things on our door hanger here. You also, so this box has overlays as well. So this quarter, you got 2 boxes with overlays and no hand painted word this time around. So we mixed it up a little bit. Your little goodie bag for this kit has your jute and your ribbon hanger in it. You'll have your zip ties and you have a little glue so that you can glue those stars on. All right, so we're gonna set that aside for now and we're gonna get started on our painting. Now remember, you want 2 cups of water for cleaning your brushes. You need a variety of brushes. Your baby wipes are always handy. Some paper towels, a white and black paint marker. I always end up using a white and black paint marker, and some paper plates. Paper plates, or you can use egg cartons if you're using egg cartons. I like to mix my paint in a paper plate. So however you want to do it. Okay, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the whole entire thing white. I need a lot of white on this, and it's just going to be easier to paint it all white and then paint over the white with the other colors that I need. So my USA is going to be white, and the stripes on my heart is going to be white. So at this point, it's just going to be easier to paint the whole entire thing. And then we'll let that dry and we'll put on 2 coats, okay? 2 coats of white. So let's get started on that. Now you can put your paint directly on your backer board for your white if you would like to. You do not have to put it on a paper plate. The only thing is once you squeeze it out onto the backer board, just keep that puddle moving around so no spots of it dry and create a ring. Put a nice light coat on because it will dry faster, and then you can put that second coat on faster. No matter what, you're gonna need a second coat, so you don't wanna put on such a heavy coat the first time that you, oh look at, you see that? My brush is not very clean. I'm gonna switch brushes. You don't want such a heavy coat that you can't see the scores or the etch marks. Now by now, if you've been with us since the beginning and you've painted all of the door hangers, so you are on door hanger number 9, 1, congratulations. But 2, you probably have found that you use a lot of white and black paint. So it may be, if you have not already, it may be to your advantage to buy the 8-ounce bottle of the white and the black, or even the 8-ounce bottle of the colors that you find that you use the most. White and black I use the most, so those are the only ones that I have an 8-ounce bottle in. You know, you use your white to make your colors lighter, and your black, a lot of times you can use black to darken your colors. Sometimes it's better to use a brown or a gray, but a lot of times black does the trick. You just don't want when you darken a color with black, you don't want your color to get muddy looking. So sometimes it's better to use brown. Let that dry so we can put our second coat on it. So we're just going to set that to the side. But while we set that to the side, while it dries, I'm going to go ahead and paint my stars. Now, you have two sets of stars here. Some of the stars have very sharp edges, and then the other set has more of a rounded edge. There should be 5 of them that have more of a rounded edge look to them, and then the remainders are more pointy. Okay, so these are the ones that have more of the rounded edge look to them, and then this set here is the pointy edge. The pointy edge I intended to go on the peace sign, and then the rounded ones I had intended to go on the lower USA portion of the door hanger. Now, the rounded ones are the largest ones, so if you could pick those out, that's what I would do, because these get painted blue. All of the smaller ones get painted white, okay? So once again, you'll have a sponge in your kit. I didn't have that ready for the demo, so let me grab that real quick, but you will get a sponge. All right, so I'm going to put some white on my paper plate. And because these stars are quite small, it's going to be a lot easier to use a sponge to paint them, but you can use your paintbrush if you want to. And then while we wait for those to dry, I'm going to bring my door hanger back, and I'm going to paint the second coat of white on it. Well, this time around, I'm only going to concentrate on the heart and the USA for my second coat. It's okay to overlap, but we don't have to really worry too much about making sure that we get that second coat coverage on anything else. All right, we're gonna let the second coat dry, but once again, while that dries, we're going to put the second coat on our stars. Okay, so there is the second coat on our stars. Okay, so our second coats are dry on our backer board. So now we're going to look at painting the rest of our pieces. I want to start with, I think I'm gonna start with the United States. All right, now at the moment, I plan on painting that parrot blue. I'm just not sure if I want it a little darker or not. So, I don't know. I actually think that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna put some of that parrot blue on my paper plate, and I'm going to use an angle brush. Of course, you know, I always use angle brushes. And I'm going to start with a number 10 angle brush. A number 10. You're also going to want to have a smaller angle brush handy, because getting the inside of the A and the S might be a little bit difficult with a number 10. Actually, it will be difficult with a number 10. So you're going to want to look at having probably like a 2 or a 3 ready. All right. Goes a little bit slower with those smaller brushes, but it is better because you have more control. So I always like to start along an outside edge, or like what butts up to something else. In this case, the edge of the A. okay, the edge of the A there. Because once I get that part done, then it's easy just to go back in and fill in the inside portion. And in this case, it's the outside edge, which you don't have to outline or anything. So you can just go ahead and paint all this in. Now this color has a fantastic coverage, so we may not need 2 coats on this. So let's see how it ends up drying. Now remember, if you make a mistake and it's more than your paint marker will cover, you can come in with a baby wipe and you can wipe that away real quick. Just like that. And then we're just going to keep working here. Remember to pick up any bumpers of paint. We don't want lines of paint, because that will dry like that and you'll be able to see it. So clean up that excess paint. So before I paint this outer edge here, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get the inside of the A and the area around the S here. Because if I paint that, then I'm going to wind up with my hand on top of it. I do a lot of painting left-handed. You guys have probably seen that or noticed that. So I kind of have to be very cautious about the direction that I paint. So that's why I'm going to go backwards now. Now remember, I said that you're going to have to change brushes because the inside of this A is pretty darn small and you won't have a whole lot of control of your paintbrush if you stay with that number 10. So just switch over to a smaller, a number 2 or a number 3. I'm on a number 2 because I think my number 3 brush needs to be replaced. It's seen better days. It has a lot of love. It's loved much. All right. Got just a little bit on that A there. My paint marker would probably cover it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get that out of there. All right. I'm gonna switch back to my larger brush. I think I can get in here with my larger brush, okay? See a little white spots down here, so I'm gonna grab them real quick because I don't think that this blue will need a second coat. So if we can get away without doing a second coat, that's fantastic. All right, I'm gonna get the inside part of my S here. right, now that's the end of that blue. So remember to work out as much paint out of your brush as you can before you put it in your water cup. So this is a good time to go back through and see if you have any white spots showing that you could touch up a little bit to use up that excess paint. For me, I do not need a second coat on my blue. This apple barrel covered perfectly, and there's no need for me to put a second coat. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brush out and call this one good. And now I am going to do the blue of my hand, my peace sign, and my stars. Now those are the stars, the larger stars that we have not painted white. I'm going to set this aside for a second because I want to mix up my blue paint. If you have a darker navy blue that you like and you want to use, then go ahead and use that. I like, when I do Americana things, I like my blue to be very, very dark. So I want this blue to be like a midnight blue. And I want to make sure that I mix enough that I don't have to remix later. So I'm going to grab my junk brush. That's a brush that is no longer fit for painting. The bristles are kind of stiff on it. And I'm going to mix up a little bit of black into that bright blue to give myself a navy blue. Remember, just add a little bit of black at a time. You can always add more, but it's hard to take away. And I feel like I put just a little too much black in it. And going the opposite is a little more difficult. So it takes more paint. So at this point, I'm probably wasting paint. There we go. That's a nice blue. Okay. I'm happy with that blue. And I'm going to bring my template back in front of me. I'm going to cut the bottom of my white wedge off, the part that had the white paint on it. And I'm going to use that snipped off end there, the clean end, to paint my stars. Now you can paint these with the paintbrush. They are a little larger, but because I have the sponge, I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. I'm gonna first get a coat of paint on them and just set them to the side and let them dry while we paint our peace sign. All right, we'll let those dry while we paint our peace sign. I am going to use another angle brush. Surprise! I'm actually going to use the same two that I've been using, which is my number 2 and my number 10. And I'm going to start down here and outline the US first. Got to come in here to the inside and get the bottom of my hand. Now this blue is going to need 2 coats, unfortunately. So 2 coats with this guy. I can tell already. So just come in and outline your US letters. And then you can come back with a larger angle and fill in. And then we've got to get up next to our heart as well. All right, now you can take your bigger angle brush and you can fill all of that in. And then you can let that dry, put a coat on your stars, and then come back and put your second coat on this. So I will shut my mouth and I will paint this. I will set it to some music so you can watch it and speed it up while you paint. And then just let's all meet back here after our second coat is on both our stars and our peace sign. And we have 2 coats on our dark blue, on our peace sign and our stars, and everything is dry. So now we're gonna move over to doing the heart, and we're gonna do stripes on this heart. Now you can use masking tape if you would like to, but I'm not going to. However, I am going to take a pencil and I'm gonna lightly draw in some sketch lines of where I want my stripes to go. So I'm going to just make about 1-inch stripes and just lightly draw in a sketch line. If you want to use a ruler, you can. It definitely will make them straighter, but for me, I just usually wing everything. So I'm not gonna worry about making it perfect. But by all means, if a ruler or if masking tape is more your cup of tea, then go ahead and do that. All right, so let me show you what mine looks like. Can you see that? I'm sure that you can. When I look at the screen, I can't see my pencil marks because our monitor sits right underneath a light. But I know, like, when I go back and edit the videos, I can usually see what I couldn't see while I was doing the tutorial. So hopefully you can see those lines okay. All right, so just get that done, and then I'm going to use a wide angle brush again, and I'm actually going to use a number 12 this time instead of my number 10. Actually, it's a number 11. Sorry, folks. It's a number 11. And we are going to paint the red lines. All right, so we're going to put our red apple on our plate. All right, so we are going to start with this bottom stripe here, and I'm going just to paint along my pencil line. And your red will need 2 coats, especially because it's over top of white. So just try to pick up all that bumper of paint there, and we'll put 2 coats on this. Now, if you want to use a smaller angle brush to get around where the peace sign comes in, by all means do that. I'm just using the same brush and just taking a little bit more precaution. All right, there's my stripes, my first coat. We're gonna let that dry completely, and then we're gonna go ahead and put a second coat on. So we should come back here. When your second coat is done, I will speed the video up and set it to a little bit of background audio there, so you do not have to watch the entire thing. All right, I'll see you when the second coats are done. Okay, so all of our paint is dry. Everything has enough coverage. We are going to start on the detail work of this. So I'm going to grab my my 3 white and my 5 black paint markers, and we're just gonna start putting some filler in here. I actually think I'm gonna grab my 3 black as well. So, all right, let's see. On the heart here, I'm gonna come around the outside edge with just a little bit of squiggle and straight swoopy marks with my black paint marker. I'm going to use my fine black for this. It's going to be my number 3. And I'm just gonna come in and do swoop down like that. I'm gonna do a swoop up here. I'm gonna come around with some zigzaggy marks there and a swoop up here. Now notice I'm not connecting any of that, and it's still pretty broken right there. I'm gonna leave it like that. That's how I want it to look. So we're just gonna keep moving on. Now in the A, I'm gonna do a little bit of a squiggle work down right here, like that. I'm gonna swoop down here and across like that. All right. On my S, I'm going to give a little squiggle on my S. Everything's going to get a little squiggle somewhere. Okay. I'm going to come up here, curve around, swoop down, and I'm going to do a little swoop in here as well. On my U is going to get a squiggle too. It's going to get a squiggle right here. Remember, you can't really think about this too much. You just got to do it. You don't want to hesitate. And some swoops there. I'm going to come up here to that corner, give that a little bit of definition up there. And let's see where else. How about back up in the A right here? Okay. All right, good. So that's it for the squiggles and the swoops in the USA. Let's switch over to our thin white. That's our number 3 white. And we're gonna come in on, we're gonna do some squiggly marks as well. Not 100% sure about how much I'm gonna love the white on the blue, but we're gonna try it, okay? So we're gonna swoop around here. And do that again. My white wasn't very white. I guess that's as white as I'm getting on that blue. Let's do some squiggles there. And we'll come over here. Come down. I'll do a little squiggle there. And we'll put a little bit of squiggle in here. And then let's give Florida something as well. Okay, so there's some white in the USA. And then let's come up to the blue. Now, I'm going to trace these score lines in the hand with a black paint marker, but I also want to get some white in there as well. But because I want to put black in there, we're going to do the black first, because the white will go over top of the black and then you'll be able to see it. So we're going to take our number 5 paint marker in black and we're going to do our outlining. So we're going to outline the USA, and we're going to outline where the heart comes in a little bit here, and then we're going to outline the whole peace sign, the hand. Okay, so let's focus on doing that. Remember, just trace right over those score marks and get the whole edge of the letter and everything, because it looks more defined that way. It looks more finished. We will outline the whole entire door hanger. Okay, there's my USA. And then I'm just going to come up and I'm going to get this area where the heart comes in. Okay, and then we're going to work on the peace sign here. And then remember that we're also going to do the whole outline edge there. So you can just follow that around as you're doing your fingers. All right, now I debated on whether or not I wanted to define the striped edges of the red and the white stripes on the heart. Oh, whoops, I forgot this part. Let me go back and finish this guy here. And so I think I decided not to put a solid black stripe along those edges. You can always do that if you want to. I am going to finish the outline around the outside edge of the heart in black though. So we're going to go ahead and do that now, and then we'll go work on the USA, the continent. All right, now we're going to come around the outside edge of the United States. All right. Oh, I'm gonna get this little part up in here. Okay, so that's all of that outline there. So now we want to pick up our number 3 white, and we're gonna come in and we're gonna put some swirls and swoops in here and finish this guy out. So around our thumb area there, and then down in the pocket of that thumb. We're gonna go around the outsides of the knuckles there and down to this side here, and then again right here. And then let's just do a little bit right there. All right, there is that. Cute. It turned out really good. I like it. Okay, so now we are going to glue on our stars. Remember, cap your super glue or tap your super glue away from your backer board there, because you don't want to squeeze super glue all over your backer board by accident. All right, so it's a good idea to first just place your stars where you want them to go. That way there's no question when you're gluing them where you're going to end up putting them, okay? So you can put some paint marker on your stars as well if you would like to. that's where my blue stars are going to go. Now my white stars. You don't have to use all of them either. If you don't want to use them all, by all means, do not. Okay, that's where I'm putting my stars. All right, so one by one, I'm just gonna glue these little buggers on. All right, and remember, pressure activates your super glue. Okay, and there was plenty of glue in that little tiny disposable bottle. So next we are going to put our hanger on, and we are going to just drop an end down through each of the hanger holes. And we're going to bring those ends together and then bring the loop up. And this one is kind of spaced apart so it would hang evenly there. There was no other choice. I would have had to put them both right here, and it was so close and I didn't want to do that. So I had to space them out quite a bit. So just tie a knot in the end of where your two strands meet. You're going to need all of your jute. I'll give you guys a little bit more than I allowed myself, that's for sure. And then bring your hanger hole to the back, or your hanger knot to the back of one of your holes there. And you have your hanger on. Now let's make our bow cluster. And to make that, you're going to take your ribbons, and you'll need a pair of scissors. You're going to fold your long ribbon in half and then fold it up again like a taco. Take your scissor and you're going to cut from the folded edge up and out on an angle. You're going to want to do that on both sides, up and out. Do that with the other ribbon as well. And then we are going to make an X with our ribbons, like this. And we're going to take our long zip tie and we are going to put it behind all of it and wrap all of it together. And then we're going to cinch it down. We're going to slide that other zip tie in the loop of the longer zip tie, and then we're going to cinch it down really tight and trim the tail off of that long one. And then we're going to take that small zip tie and we're going to secure it around both pieces of jute on whatever side you want. And we're going to just cinch that right down. And then we're going to trim that off. And then there you have your number 9 door hanger. And oh, cute. I like it. I like all of our door hangers, but yep, I do like it. All right, if you have any questions on how we did this one, or if you're struggling at all, just let us know and we'll do our best to help you out. Thanks, guys.